Just play the damn thing.
So recently a viewer commented on my channel defending his beloved Marshall MG amps. If you know me at all, you know I absolutely despise those amps. Sorry Marshall, I love Marshall amps, but not those. Anyway, so I thought I'd read you what he said. I don't know what you're smoking if you don't think the lower watt MG series aren't among the best practice amps on the market, the operative word being practice. If we're purely talking practice amps, I've played through Fenders, Voxes, Black Stars, Oranges, and not proud, Line 6s. No better value for your money than the MG combos in my opinion. Obviously, the tone and variability isn't comparable to a DSL 40 or 6505 combo, both of which I'd had and loved, but what else could you really recommend for under 300 bucks? Well, that's actually a fantastic question because this video here today is all about awesome practice amps that you can buy for well under 300 bucks. All the amps mentioned in this video, by the way, are currently available on the market as of this recording, and all of the prices given are actually map prices of new units. There's no used prices or anything like that. All the prices, you can buy every single one of these amps in this video brand new for under $300. Let's get to it. Number 1, the Boss Katana 50. Might as well start with the best-selling practice amp on the market today, right? This amp sells brand new right now for $229.99. I think they may have even just recently lowered the price on it, and comes with a ton of options. Boss originally came out with the Katana series amplifiers because they just wanted something to be able to compete in the affordable modeling combo amp arena. Again, competing against the Line 6 Spiders and the the PV Vipers, things of that nature. They just wanted something in that particular arena, so they came out with the Katana series, and much to everybody's surprise, including Boss's, they went on to become the best-selling amp in that entire arena, and those amps have done so well they've already updated the series and are now on the Mark IIs of the Katana series amplifiers, and they sound really, really good. I guess it's kind of debatable whether or not it's actually a modeling amp because they don't specify if it's a Marshall Plexi or a Fender Blackface or whatever it is. They just kind of go by crunch or clean or that's kind of how they're labeled. So they're not technically trying to model necessarily any specific amplifier, but they're trying to give you as wide of a range of tones as possible. And unlike the Line 6 Spiders that they were originally designed to compete against, and the PV Vipers among others, Boss designed the entire Katana series to be very, very pedal friendly. These are probably the first solid state modeling combos that came out that are designed to be really, really good pedal platforms. And that's one reason why a lot of people like them. They're extremely versatile, very portable, they sound great, and they're under 250 bucks. Well under 300. Number 2, Line 6 Catalyst 60. Well, apparently, the day came along the Line 6 got so butthurt about Boss coming out with the Katana series and cutting in on their action with the Spiders, Line 6 decided to come out with their own direct competitor of the Katana called the Catalyst series. And again, they feature a lot of the same features that the Katanas do. Maybe a little bit more expensive. This particular one runs for $269.99, but it has a lot of the same features that the Katanas do and does a lot more than the younger, the baby brother Spider series amplifiers, if you will, are designed to do. And hats off to Line 6, because in the Catalyst series, they even took it a step further, and the amp models are actually using the same amp models from the Helix native. And by now, I'm going to assume that we are all familiar with just how top-notch and great the sound quality is of the Line 6 Helix stuff. A lot of great features in this amp, and it comes in right at $299.99. Number 3, the Positive Grid Spark 40. There was a little bit of controversy about how Positive Grid was taking the money from their customers, months before this amp was even shipping out. But, regardless, they seem to be well past that, and, supply is caught up with demand, etc., etc. These are a lot more readily available now. My buddy Alan Barnes from the Geargasms YouTube channel is really, really big on the Spark Series amps. He's done countless videos on this particular amplifier. I strongly encourage you to go check these out. It's an app-driven modeling amp. So if you like the idea of being able to get all kinds of sounds out of your amplifier controlled with your phone, then at $269, the Positive Grid Spark 40 amplifier is probably the amp for you. Ironically, this was originally a concept the Line 6 came out with in their old Amplify series that didn't quite seem to take off the way that they had hoped. Positive Grid took the idea, expanded on it, perfected it, and they ran with it. Number 4. There's a bunch of these amps that I'm grouping together into one entry on this list because they're all kind of in the same arena and they're all very similar and share a lot of the same features. But in this particular category, I'm referring to the Line 6 Spider 5 Mark IIs, the current series, the PV Vipers, the Fender Mustang LTs, the Vox Valvetronics VT20 anyway, and among others. But those are the main ones in that arena. Every single one of these amp lines has at least one offering, many of them more than that, under $300. And these are, the modeling technology has come a long, long way. These will do anything that you need them to do, and a lot of these even have plenty of power that you can go out and gig with them if you need to. But certainly they serve as excellent practice amps. The sound possibilities you can get out of any of them are endless for a very, very fair price. There's a lot of these to choose from nowadays. Prices range on all these amps anywhere from about $99 all the way up to $299. So take your pick. Number 5, the Orange Crush 35 RT. Orange's line of crushed solid state amplifiers, and I'm talking about all of them, not just the smaller practice amp styles, but as well as the larger size Pro Crush series. Orange makes some of the best solid state amplifiers on the market. And the Crush 35 RT is kind of somewhat of a modeling amp. It does definitely have some of that in it, but it's not quite to the extent of the Line 6s and all those other things. So, it does rely a little bit more on its own solid state construction and technology for its sound. Regardless, it sounds really good, very versatile amplifier, very small and easy to carry around with you, and sells brand new for $299. It is a little bit darker sounding, like most Orange amplifiers are known to be, but that's one thing that a lot of people like about Orange amplifiers. Number 6, there's a new line of amplifiers that seem to be all being made by the same company. I'm not entirely sure what company is actually making them, but they're coming out with small, miniature-sized, lower wattage, solid-state versions of some really, really expensive amplifiers. And I'm talking about amplifiers like the Friedman BE Mini, the Soldano SLO Mini, and the Diesel VH Micro. These amp heads all sell for $249 a piece. They're about that big, about that tall, sound really, really good for solid state amps, and actually sound really, really close to the $4,000 and $5,000 tube amps that they're designed to emulate. So there's those 3 on the market right now that I know of. I'm kind of crossing my fingers hoping that they come out with some more of them, because this is a really, really good idea. Frankly, they should have started doing this a long time ago. Number 7, the Joyo Band Amp series. There is a full line of these little miniature amp heads from Joyo called the Band Amp series that are all designed to emulate, again, much larger sized amplifiers, more well-known amplifiers. For example, they have a model called the Vivo that's meant to sound like the 5150. They have one called the Zombie that's supposed to sound like a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier. They have one called the Jackman that's supposed to sound like a JCM 800, and there's an Orange Rock Reverb, and there's an Engel version, and there's a Fender version and a Vox version. There's a bunch of them out there, and all these versions actually have a regular version and an XL version. The difference between the two being one channel versus 2 channels that do the same thing, and even comes with foot switches. All of these amp heads range from anywhere from about $149 to $189 just for the head itself. And the best thing about these amps is they're not just small little solid state amplifiers. They're made extremely well, all metal construction, and they actually have a tube preamp section in them. This entire range of amp heads you can buy for between $149 and $189 as of this recording. And if you don't have your own cabinet to run it through, you can even buy the Joyo Band Amp cabinet for $99 and still be under the $300 price point. Seriously, these amps are a great value and they sound absolutely awesome. I've demoed several of them on my channel in the past. I'll make sure to link those. I'll put up here in the card for you to check out, because I think you will probably be surprised just how good these things sound. Number 8, the Monoprice 5-watt tube combo. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is a tube combo that you can buy on Amazon from a company called Monoprice for $159. A real tube amp combo for $159. I have not personally gotten to demo this one on my channel, but there's plenty of videos out there. Daryl Braun, I know, is really big on the Monoprice amps. Max Carlisle from the Guitar Max channel has also demoed a few of them. Go check those videos. I think you'll be surprised how good these amps are. $159 for a real all-tube combo amp. How else are you going to beat that? Number 9 is the Wong's Mini 5. Again, this is another all-tube amplifier. Obviously, you can see the preamp tubes and the power tubes and even the rectifier tube that is in this amplifier. This amp sells brand new, as of this recording, for $249. I demoed this amp on my channel a while back, and basically what this is just this is a this is an old 50s Bassman clone, is what this is. That's the circuit that this thing is based on, and it sounds excellent. It sounds excellent. There's actually quite a bit of tonal range in this thing, despite the fact it's only 4 knobs and a little toggle switch. It's basically just a bright switch. But ever since I demoed this amp, a number of you have come to me and left comments saying that that you enjoyed the sound of it so much that you actually went and bought your own, and have since become even more pleasantly surprised because you love it as much as I do. Seriously, $249, all tube, and it's just that classic warm sounding tube tone that that so many people are chasing these days. You can't beat it. Number 10, the Hughes & Kettner Spirit of Vintage and Spirit of Metal amp heads. Now, if you're familiar with Hughes & Kettner's current amp line, they have a full-size solid-state amplifier called the Black Spirit that has just about every sound under the sun in it that you can think of. And it's a really, really high-quality amplifier. To buy the head version is about $1,000, and they now have a floor version that that has all the foot switches and stuff built into it that sells for about $1,100. Great sounding amp, but for a solid-state amp, it ain't cheap. However, the Spirit of Vintage and Spirit of Metal mini heads that are basically the vintage and the metal sections of the Black Spirit that have come out, you can buy these two little individual heads for $199 a piece. Not just under $300, but under $200. You can have these little guys. And again, it's the same technology that's in the Black Spirit that has done so remarkably well for Hughes & Kettner, and they've sold a lot of those amps. They've sold a lot of those amps, but they also needed a more affordable version, something that didn't have quite all the options in it packed inside of it that a lot of people weren't going to use anyway. The bassist vintage tone, the bassist metal tone, which are the most popular out of the Black Spirit, are now available for $199 a piece. Pretty tough to beat that. And if you look hard enough, you can probably find a really good sounding cabinet for $100 and still keep you inside the $300 price range. So that's it. That's my list of the top 10 greatest practice amps under $300. So thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below. Let me know what your favorite practice amp under $300 might be. Let me know which ones I may have left out of this video. I'd love to hear it. Adios.